Hello and welcome into the Hawkeye Headquarter Weekly podcast. Evan Denton alongside Joel Keller. Joel, I'm clearly wearing black right now because it is the funeral of the Iowa Hawkeyes CFP hopes with a heartbreaking loss to Oregon 18-16 on Saturday afternoon into the evening. What were your emotions leaving Kinnick Stadium Saturday night?
Yeah, it wasn't great. It felt exactly like Indiana, except it was, I think the feels like was below 20 and the rain was still coming down. We were promised snow.
Yep.
Never showed up, and that would have been so much better. So it was wet and cold and just a depressing end to that game.
The rain, like you said, was nonstop. I was on the sideline standing next to our chief meteorologist, Andy McCrae. I said, Andy, why does it have to keep raining? Can it just stop? I'd rather have snow, to be honest. It was sideways rain. It went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows in all of about 2 minutes of game action. We're gonna get into that. But for me, it was a combination of shock, disbelief, and then just being speechless because that was supposed to be Iowa's defining win of the year, and it just went downhill in a matter of minutes.
It was just so similar to Indiana. It was just like, again? Really?
Yep. And so it was about 2 minutes ago, I'm thinking, okay, Joel told me how to prepare for a field storming. I looked over my left shoulder. I see lines of security in the aisles getting ready just in case people storm the field. I'm like, okay, this is premature. Stop what you're doing. And then it was an omen that Iowa would not be able to finish the deal. They are now 1-3 in one-score games. Obviously, the one win against Penn State, but now you have losses to Oregon, Indiana, and Iowa State. That's the difference between being a very good team to being a decent team.
Yeah, you got to win in those moments. You got to find a way in crunch time, and that's just something that Iowa hasn't. And for the first time, I think in a long time, it's not the offense not having the ability to score in crunch time. It's the defense not stopping.
Yeah. A Phil Parker-led defense not being able to get a stop, that just does not seem like a plausible statement, but we've seen it a couple of times now. They have 3 losses by a combined 10 points. I mean, they're that close to not only being a playoff contender, but being almost a lock to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, if they just win 2 of those, it's basically like you'd be allowed to slip up this coming week against USC and you'd still be good for the playoff.
Right. Thoughts on people using the excuse of bad weather being the reason for the safety and the terrible snap? Thoughts on that?
If it happens once, sure.
Yeah.
Happened twice. You got to make the adjustment, and it is just such a simple part of the game that you can't make that mistake twice. Teams are going to make you pay, and I guess Oregon didn't really make them pay, but they kind of lucked out, stopping them the next possession. But the 2 points, obviously, came up big
down the stretch.
Who would have thought?
See, my whole thing with that argument is both Iowa and Oregon played in the same elements.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
So Oregon had to punt as well throughout the game, and they had no issues with the snap, the punter catching the ball and punting it. So I don't feel like those internet trolls or analysts can say that, hey, the only reason why Iowa lost that game was because of bad weather.
Yeah. There's really not a lot of excuse. It's not like Indiana where it's like, oh, hypothetically, if Mark Gronowski doesn't get hurt, the Hawks win.
Right.
I don't really know if there's a hypothetical in this game. Yeah. It's plain and simple. The mistakes were made, and they cost Iowa the game.
And so Iowa did go up 16-15 with 1:51 to go. You were in the crowd, obviously. You put your defense back out onto the field. What were your thoughts in that moment? Like, hey, can Iowa actually do this?
I was hoping they would not run the ball.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like the only way Oregon could win, move the ball down the field, is by running the ball. And then all of a sudden we see Dante Moore throw probably the best pass in all of college football this year.
No, it's funny because Xavier Wampa literally said in the postgame presser that when they took the field with 1:51 left, they thought, okay, we need to stop the run. And sure enough, here comes Oregon just throwing the ball around the field. You alluded to that one throw by Dante Moore. I think, and you've been a believer in Dante Moore the entire year.
I have.
That throw right there, to me, said first-round NFL pick either this year or next year. He didn't lob that to the back shoulder. He threw that on a frozen rope right over TJ Hall's left shoulder. I mean, it was perfect placement, great defense, but an even better throw.
Yeah, it was. Because, I mean, when he throws it that hard in like a line drive, Hall has no play to make on the ball.
Right.
If you lob it up, Hall has like split second to make the decision to turn around. I was seeing people talk about like TJ Hall needs to turn around on that. It's not a play that a corner can turn around on and make a play on the ball. That was a beautiful ball. NFL day one pick. And he honestly didn't have that great of a game until crunch time, and that's when the good quarterbacks come out.
Just want to remind people that Dante Moore and I are both from the great state of Michigan. He's a proud Michigander. Detroit is where he was born and raised. So I was happy to see a home state guy play well in the crunch time. But no, he definitely very much impressed me in that last drive. Because like you said, he had a decent game up until then. But the big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments, and he delivered when Oregon needed him most.
Yeah. Especially with the big run, too, earlier in the game when they needed a score. He came through on that one.
Yeah.
Big time.
And thank you for bringing up the running game for Oregon. This was the first time all year that we saw the Iowa defensive line get pushed around in the trenches, and the Oregon offensive line really controlled the game. Yeah.
I had been a long time, I think, since a team could run the ball all over Iowa. Probably, I hate to say it to you, but probably the Big Ten championships.
Oh, wow.
But
okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so rare is it where you see a Phil Parker defense just unable to make a play, to make a stop when you know what's coming.
Right.
Everyone knew that Oregon was going to run the ball right at the gut because, I mean, they forced 24 missed tackles in that game.
Yeah.
That is an absurd number.
No, the final stat line, Oregon had 261 total rushing yards against the Iowa defense in Iowa City in terrible weather. I mean, hats off to Oregon because they beat Iowa in the trenches, and we have not seen that in a long, long time.
Yeah. And it wasn't just like a couple like really big rushes. Yeah, there's a Dante Moore rush. Yeah. But other than that, it was just consistent 5 to 8 yard carries, and it just added up. I was looking up at the scoreboard, and I was like, "Oh, Iowa's outpassing Oregon. Like, surely the total yards are close." No, not even close. I was stunned. They got to make the tackles.
Can you admit that Oregon was the better team on Saturday?
Oregon was definitely the better team. Yeah.
Iowa
played Iowa ball, and that's why they could stick in there, but Oregon's the better team. Yeah.
No, when I was driving back from Iowa City, I was like, you know what? Yes, Iowa kept it close, but in reality, I really do think that the best team won on Saturday afternoon in Iowa City. I got to be shoulder to shoulder with the Duck mascot, all right? I'll be honest.
A celeb.
He is a celeb. He is arguably the funniest mascot I've ever been around. Like, he was getting pictures with Iowa media, Oregon media, different fans. He was lined up in the back of the end zone and started walking in straight line like he was doing a sobriety test, getting pulled over on the side of a highway, and it's just nonstop funny. So shout out to the Oregon Duck. You definitely impressed. I think you won the matchup over Herky.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to pay attention to that. I was too busy in between plays, just taking cover under my poncho and getting out of the rain. So props to the Duck for having the energy to do all that. I'm sure that the mascot costume gets a little weighed down when it gets super wet that.
Yeah, sure. But it's probably pretty hot inside, right?
Probably warm. So worth it maybe?
Maybe. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of the what could have been moments in this game. Obviously, we talked about the safety earlier. Were there any other plays that made you think, you know what, if this play had gone differently, Iowa could have been on the right side of this outcome?
I mean, the Dante Moore throw.
Yeah.
If it's not a perfect ball, I mean, Hall had really good coverage. They probably don't complete it, and there would have been more opportunity for Iowa to make the stop. But other than that, it was, I don't know if there was another big moment, but it was just all these just good runs. Like I said, 6 to 8 yard runs that just kept them ahead of the sticks. It's maybe if they make one more stop, it's good. But
so remind me, where were your seats on Saturday?
Well, I started all the way at the top, row 74 or whatever.
Okay.
in the back corner of the student section because we did not listen to the University of Iowa statement saying get there 45 minutes early. We thought about it, and then it was really, really cold, and we were like, you know what, we're going to stay by our space heater for a little longer. But we moved up, and then by the end of it, we were about row 45.
Okay.
Right on the 20.
So you were on the Iowa sideline side of the stadium.
Yeah.
All right, so I was down in the end zone. In the third quarter, I was coming towards me, okay? The play that I think changed the entire game was the Caden Weegan fumble.
Yeah, I had a bad look at that.
Yes. So I did not realize this until Mark Gronowski brought it up in the post-game presser. Iowa only had 3 possessions in the second half.
Wow, yeah.
And so you had the touchdown drive, the Drew Stevens field goal, and then the Weegan fumble. All right. I think, I'm not kidding. I think I was the first media person to realize, okay, that ball is out.
Yeah.
That's a fumble. Then you see 3 or 4 Oregon defenders just jumping at his legs to get the ball, and they got it out, obviously. He was called down on the field. It took Iowa an eternity to get up to the line of scrimmage before the play finally got blown dead to review it. If Iowa just sprints to the line of scrimmage and gets a playoff, they're already in the red zone. That's at least 3 points guaranteed, if not 7. What was the final score? It was 18-16.
Yep.
So Oregon takes that turnover, goes down to get a field goal. So it's either a 6-point swing or a 10-point swing. And I'm like, it's not all on Caden Weegan, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're telling me with all the cameras in the stadium that no one on the Iowa sideline said, hey, get to the line of scrimmage. Let's go. Snap it. Run a QB draw, QB sneak.
Whatever. Just keep the possession. Yeah. No, I feel like that's got to be like cooked into the playbook.
Right.
Loose ball, especially when you're that close, giving up one down isn't that big of a deal.
I noticed it. Then Andy McRae noticed it. Then, of course, Dan Lanning notices it. He's talking to the official like, hey, are you all going to review it? And right before Iowa snaps the ball a minute later, you see the referees go, we're going to review the previous play. I'm like, what are you all doing?
Game-changing moment. That's not even really part of the gameplay.
Because it was, I took notes on this. It was an 11-play drive that went 54 yards, but took up nearly 7 minutes. All right. And you get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And in a game where possessions are at a premium and scoring opportunities are not far and few between, you need to capitalize. And I thought that moment, given the final score, was the moment that I thought, okay, if Iowa had done this differently, they walk out of here victorious.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. I like how you mentioned that. It was a long drive.
Yeah.
That's kind of all that. When Iowa found success, there's these long drives, which getting points, really, really big.
Right.
But when you're playing down, you can't really do that. Yeah. If you know you have points to score or you're only going to take a 1 possession lead and there's going to be 2 minutes on the clock, 3 timeouts for Oregon. Yeah. You want to try and leave yourself some time.
And you think about it, they were down 12-7 at halftime. And so they ended up outscoring Oregon 9-6, and it could have been even more points with that fumble. But you live and you learn.
Exactly.
We were robbed from Mark Gronowski's iconic Iowa moment. All right. Yep. He led a 12-play, 93-yard touchdown drive, critical 3rd down and 4th down conversions on incredible passes. That should have been the moment that Iowa fans would talk about and say, hey, this is our key moment to winning this big-time game, but it fell short.
Yeah. There's multiple times on that drive where I thought in my head, this is it. Going to give the ball back to Oregon. They're going to close it out.
Right.
And then Mark made great play after great play when the backs were against the wall. And then he finally gets into the end zone on 4th and 3.
Yeah.
And that was the moment in his career in the black and gold. Yeah. And got wiped away because Dante Moore made his play.
I think the student section alerted me that he was going to score initially because I was kind of blocked by the line. But I felt as if the Kinnick Stadium turf was shaking for a good 3 minutes after that touchdown. I was like, oh my gosh, like this place is going crazy. It might collapse on me.
Yeah. And that play, I don't know why it took him so long to pull it out at the goal line, but whenever they put the ball in Mark's hands and give him an option play of some sort at the goal line, it typically works out well.
Right.
And then moments later, they come out for the 2-point conversion, and you go 5 wide and try and throw up a fade. I didn't like that call whatsoever. I don't think anyone around me liked that call. It's like your quarterback is known for running the ball, for scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
Give it to him. Let him make the decision there to use his feet, hand it off, or make a short little pass.
Right. And we were talking last week about how we needed to see some of the receivers step up and make some big time plays. They did that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jacob Gill, he caught a pass that got them down to the 3-yard line on a must-score drive, and then obviously went to DJ Bonami. I had to practice that name a few times. Like out of nowhere, he's catching touchdown passes and getting big 40-yard gains on the touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. But Tim Lester really was in his bag for moments during the Oregon game, finding ways to get receivers some separation against some typically pretty good Oregon DBs.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of good play calling. Bonami what a season he's had, right? Stood out in the summer and fall, and then had a couple of drops early on, and then now made what could have been some of the biggest catches of the season. And then, I don't know, like that 2-point conversion play was so different from every other play in that sequence. It made no sense in my mind.
Yeah.
Even on other fourth downs, they're not going to 5 wide. Yeah, hate it.
I think they tried to force the ball to Caden Weegan on that play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay, if you're going to do some kind of force play, throw it up to Reese Vanderzee on a fade or something. Like put 4 receivers on one side, ISO him on the other side, see what happens. You might get a pass interference half the distance to the goal, and then you run Gronowski. But yeah, I wasn't quite enamored with that 2-point conversion play call.
Yeah. And it just kind of shows the bigger problem on 2-point conversions. Iowa cannot convert.
Yeah.
It's been years since they've had one. And in the last decade, they've averaged a little under 2-point conversion, or a little under 1 2-point conversion per 2 years, which is outrageous because you're attempting at least a couple each year.
Yeah. I mean, they could have even considered giving the ball to Kamari Moulton, who on the touchdown drive was just bursting through tacklers.
Oh, yeah.
And he was playing with a lot of momentum, always falling forward, if you will. So, yeah, I think that's the one call that Tim Lester's going to say, you know what? I got that one wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's change gears for a second. We're going to go over to the men's basketball team. They are currently 2-0 under Ben McCullum. A very impressive win over Western Illinois. What are your takeaways so far about the Iowa men's basketball team?
They're doing what they need to.
Yeah,
they're winning the games by the margins they should, and they're playing defense. And that's just a refreshing sight to see. I don't know if you saw that Penn score the other day.
I did, actually.
But Fred McCaffrey's doing his own stuff out there at Penn.
Make a score, yeah.
It looks exactly like Iowa's scores did last year at this time. A lot of points for both teams. But so it's good to see the defense, and it's fun. And I'm excited to see Iowa play some of these better teams here coming up. I can't wait to see them actually not dissing these opponents, but kind of.
Yeah, they play Xavier on Friday. That should be a very interesting and telling matchup. Is it weird that I get excited to see Iowa force shot clock violations? Is that a weird thought?
No, that's always been exciting. It used to be with Fran, it was exciting because it was like, wow, like this never happens to the Hawks. But now it's exciting because it happens not regularly, but it happens enough where it's like, okay, like this is a team that is going to compete. They're going to take the shot clock down all the way when they're on defense and force up a bad shot multiple times a game, not just like twice.
Yeah. I didn't do my scouting, obviously, but Tavion Banks is a very good on-ball defender where he can probably guard 1 through 4. And I feel like that kind of versatility will then allow someone like Bennett Sturts, who does play defense, just to take a rest because he played all 40 minutes against Western Illinois. He's played almost every minute of the first 2 games. Are you worried that at some point might catch up to him and hurt the Hawkeyes down the line?
Yeah, I am a little worried. I will say, like, he's worked so closely with McCollum over the past couple of years. I'm sure they have an understanding of of how often he can play and what he needs to do to be ready in March. But I mean, he should not be playing 40 minutes in these first 2 games of the year, even just for the fact, like, you can give those reps to players on the bench who haven't had as much game time, as much playing time, even in the past couple of years, or someone like Trey Thompson, who we haven't seen in the game yet.
So, like, he has brought in Cale Combs to be the point at moments to give Benster some time, to be off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to see just how deep this team can actually be. So Trey Thompson, maybe a Tate Sage. Yeah. I do feel as if we need to see how Iowa can operate without Benester if somehow down the line he gets into foul trouble, because we have not seen that yet. But, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. But, I mean, the law of averages, at some point he's going to get into foul trouble, right?
He's not going to be safe every game.
No.
But I agree. I think we need to get some more reps in these games, because these are reps that you can't give off to some of the guys down the bench against, like, Purdue.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think at some point this man will become a starter, but Alvaro Figueres is turning into a prominent stretch forward that I think Iowa fans are going to enjoy very, very soon.
Yeah. I mean, he's hitting the threes here early, and when you get big coming from a smaller conference, you respect it a little bit, but it's also like, okay, what's the quality of opponents? Yeah. Because there's not a ton of really elite bigs, but he's come out and shown he does belong, and he's continuing the long line of really good 4 and 5s for the Hawkeye men's basketball.
Is this an unfair comparison? Because he is European, all right? He can be this year's college basketball discount version of Nikola Jokic. The way that Iowa can run their offense through him. He has very good passing ability. He can knock down a 3-point shot, obviously. Different build than Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
There's only one Nikola Jokic, all right? Let's make that very clear. But just the fact that Iowa can run their offense through him, I somewhat see the Nikola Jokic comparison.
Yeah. Other than the body, of course,
right.
Jokic, bigger guy. But no, I like it. And I think it's something that would bring just a good element to this team and turn it from a team everyone expects to run through Sturts. Hey, you can guard that. We can go to Figueres as well.
Yeah. Who are your X factors on this team? I know it's still pretty early on in the year, but do you have any standout X factors?
I would just say the depth.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't have a lot of Power 5 experience, obviously. So, these are good players.
Yeah.
They look really good so far, but, it's not like they came out of high school and they're the top tier guys. So once you get deep in that bench, which the Hawks will when it comes to Big Ten season, that is where I fear they could get exposed. So that is, I think, the X factor. If they can play up to the ability that McCollum believes, McCollum's been getting everyone else to believe, Iowa's going to be just fine. If they can't, they're going to win. They're probably still going to make the tournament, but it's going to be more of like a 19, 11, 20, and 10 type of team.
Yeah. So my initial answer to this was Isaiah Howard. Obviously, he followed Ben McCollum from Drake. He's kind of an undersized in-between guard where, his shot is still improving. He can get to the rim. But I think he can be a defensive force when Iowa needs him. But then my answer changed in the Western Illinois post-game presser, all right? Ben McCollum said that he sees a comparison between Tate Sage and current NBA player Christian Brown. All right, Christian Brown is an NBA champion who just signed a 5-year, $125 million contract.
Yeah.
That's 9 figures. That raised up my eyebrow. I said, whoa, hold on there. Hold on.
That's a bit aggressive, I think.
And it's like, and Ben McCollum said, yeah, and give him some time, but Tate will be a very good player. But Christian Brown, that piques my interest.
Yeah.
If we have a Christian Brown who at Kansas a few years back, was on a national championship winning team and played a prominent part, if that's what Tate Sage can be by the end of this year, that's a very good outlook for Iowa moving forward.
Yeah, that's exactly the type of player they need too. Like, that guy can play like the 2, 3, or 4, kind of depending on the lineup out in the court, and he can score. Take that.
I just couldn't believe he said Christian Brown. I had to look around the media room like, I know I'm not the only one who heard that, right? Christian Brown is different. But yeah, so I guess my answer would be Tate Sage. He is still very young. Mm-hmm. But I want to see Trey Thompson at some point. I mean,
I did too.
He comes to college a year early because he wants to play for Ben McCollum. He wants to learn. And we've heard great things about him in the offseason, but we haven't seen him actually put on the Iowa uniform quite yet.
Yeah. There's got to be a reason, right? Why he by McCollum wanting him to reclassify, not just to fill out the lineup.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so let's go over to the women's team now. They're also 2-0. You were on the call for their game against Evansville, where they put up a few points. Some would say
a couple.
Just a couple. 119, a slight work, new program record. What were your takeaways sitting courtside for that?
The offense is electric. The defense might even be better.
Okay.
They jump in those passing lanes like crazy. And it's not even like when the ball gets passed. Like Feuerbach is sitting in those lanes constantly and herself countless loose balls.
Yeah.
Not all going to be a turnover, but she forced countless loose balls. And it was just really good defense. And then they're so good running in transition. They're so good getting the ball down the court. And a lot of the reason why is, well, Wright. She's fast.
Yes.
And then Ava Hayden is probably the most sneaky, fast player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
She can get down the court so quickly. And that just, when you can get your 5 down there as quick as Hayden can get down there, that opens up so much of the playbook in transition.
Mm-hmm. And you were with me on media day. We heard that Jan Jensen wanted Chit Chat Wright to shoot more.
Yeah.
And against Evansville, she was letting it fly from 3-point range, and she was knocking him down.
Oh, yeah. And she was taking him early, too.
Yeah.
She pulled up for one. It was early in the first quarter, and I was surprised. I did not expect it to come this quickly. And as soon as that first one went in, which was a beautiful shot, as soon as that went in, she came back, took another one a couple minutes later, sank that, and it was like, all right. Like, if the Hawks can score 1 through 5 on the court with their starting lineup and then dip into their really deep bench, I don't know how Jan Jensen is going to whittle this down to 8 or 9 come March. Yeah. This is a team that I think can be special. And, you don't want to, say that too early, especially in a game against, Evansville, who only won a couple of games last year. But this team is showing just a lot of positives and really no negatives for someone who's not around the team day in and day out. I'm sure Jan Jensen's got a few that she's got to go through, but no, they looked really good. I mean, it was almost a perfect game. And they didn't settle, too. It wasn't like go up 30 and keep it at 30. They went 30, then went up 40, then 50, then 60.
I mean, we'll see this in time, but I'm just curious. How do you think Chit Chat Wright will do against taller guards in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think they're going to take away her driving ability, which she did have a really nice drive late in the game. Mm-hmm. But if she can hit the threes, they're going to have to play up on her because she does have some range too. So, it'll definitely limit her scoring opportunities. But as long as she takes advantage of the threes that she gets, the opportunities there, and she continues to distribute as well as she has, I think it won't matter too much to the overall success.
Yeah. No, she really is a blur out on the court. I mean, she's that fast. I'm very intrigued to see how her game translates to the Big Ten when she does come against taller guards, or maybe over at USC or UCLA. So that could be very telling. We did talk about Layla Hayes, and she happened to be the lead scorer against Evansville. Or not. Has she been the most impressive freshman so far in your eyes?
Yeah, she has. I think this game kind of sealed the deal on that too. Because it's not like she played extended minutes. She played maybe a couple extra than she normally would, but she played 18. Scored 20 in those 18. That's pretty efficient.
Pretty efficient.
And she's making really, really good moves too. And it helps, I'm sure it helps. You're in the same room with Stolke, Ava Hayden. You have Jan Jensen there, who's the big whisperer. I mean, she coaches the fives like no other.
Yeah.
And, you can already tell that Layla Hayes is a little more refined than you would expect a center to be coming out of high school.
Yeah. And coming up this week, they have a pretty interesting non-conference in-state rivalry game with Drake, who is notorious for being a very good shooting team, but they also have some size this year that I think will be the first time that Iowa faces a team that has similar size to them.
Yeah, it'll be a good test because, I mean, when you're two of your best scorers on offense, two of the probably top 3 scorers on offense are taller than everyone else on the court, basically. It's pretty easy to score a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack that. Maybe are they going to lean on McCabe and some of the other shooters a little more to open up that space down low? That'll be a good test. And of course, Drake, UNI coming up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the underdogs. They love to play Iowa and Iowa State, and they just have extra motivation to try and take them down.
Right.
You know?
There might be a all MAC conference here in the Quad Cities matchup between Journey Houston from Davenport North and then Quinn Weiss, who was at Pleasant Valley a year ago. They might go head to head in the Drake Iowa game, so that could be a nice little inner Quad Cities matchup for sure. But no, I agree with what you're saying, that this Iowa team is showing that they have a lot of potential.
Yeah. And I like how they can. It's not just Stolke and Hyden down though. They can really spread the ball around. They didn't shoot that well game 1. Game 2, they shot the lights out of Carver. It was amazing.
They were waiting for you to show up, Joel. But that's what it was.
Like, let's get splashing some threes, get them excited. And then they scored so much that our broadcast was just like, all right, there's another bucket. Let's look forward to the next game now. And it was like 5 minutes through the first quarter.
Eesh. Okay, well, rough start for Evansville. Let's go back to football before we close. Next up for Iowa is a road trip out west to USC, a team that you've been very high on this entire season on this podcast. Who are some of the notable USC players that Iowa fans should be aware of?
Well, of course, you got to go quarterback, Jaden Mayava. He is phenomenal. He's a big reason why obviously as quarterback, but a big reason why USC is in that college football playoff conversation with as poor as a defense that they have. Iowa should be able to score some points on USC, but Jaden Mayava, he's got Mekhi Lemon out at receiver and Jacoby Lane. And those are 2 really good receivers, 2 future NFL guys. And someone's going to have to stop this passing attack, or else they want to get in a shootout.
Yeah.
The Hawks are going to have to stop them.
My hometown Michigan Wolverines learned very quickly that this team has 2 very good wide receivers that can catch anything and everything.
Yeah.
And no, just from watching that game back, yes, the Iowa DBs, they cannot still be sulking after the Oregon game, because if they go into this game still thinking about the Ducks, they're gonna get run out of town in LA, because this USC team, like you said, they still have playoff aspirations.
Yeah.
They need this win.
Yeah.
And this game cannot get into the high 20s, 30s. If it does, that favors USC, and I don't think Iowa has that kind of firepower to keep up with that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And those corners, they're not going to get any help too. I mean, the Hawks are going to have to respect their run. King Miller, Wayman Jordan are both really good. I mean, Miller averages 7.9 yards per carry. Jordan averages 6.5. So they're just kind of good all around on the attack, and the prevent defense is going to have to drain some clock. So defense better be able to play probably like 35 to 40 minutes out in that field.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what Iowa defenses have done.
It is true. That's true.
Decades.
So if you were in Kirk Ferentz's shoes or Phil Parker's shoes, what is your message to this team about, hey, yes, we lost to Oregon, but we still have so much to play for that we need to get back up on our feet, and it's a new week. It's a brand new chance to go 1-0. What's your message to the team? I
think just get up and compete. I mean, they have so much still left on the line. And I know it doesn't seem like it with the playoff no longer there. But, I mean, a lot of these guys, and I'm sure if you ask them about it, they're not going to say anything about NFL or like raising their stock. But a lot of these guys are battling to turn from maybe a 5th or 6th round player to a day 2 player.
Day 2, yeah.
So I think you've got that to play for. Obviously, you got USC. That's a fun environment to go play. They want to win that game. That's like kind of the last opportunity for a premier win. And then you get senior day. You want to win that. And then you want to go beat Nebraska. So the nice thing is that it's this late in the season where you have things you can easily put things into perspective to play well. So I think that's all they got to do. Just put it into perspective. Like, there's still opportunity, and go out there, compete, and get some victories in the season.
I think my thought process is if they win out, they can still go to a New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah.
Depending on how many Big Ten teams get invited to the playoff. And so that's still a very good, notable season.
Yeah. Go out, play an SEC team down south.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind covering a Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans or
a bowl game down in, say, Florida. So.
Hey, don't ask for too much, because a couple losses here, you could be going out to New York City for the
Pinstripe Bowl. Ooh, I would ask for you to go instead of me. I don't want to stand outside in the cold, frigid temperatures like that in New York City. But no, it's definitely going to be a very important game on Saturday. And I think just with the leadership of this team, they'll be up for it. Obviously, the 24-hour rule that they go by, it's now, we're shooting this on a Monday, so they're going to be good to go. But they need to play well at USC just to get their confidence back, I think.
Yeah. And to beat a top probably 15 team on the road would be a good little win. Not as nice as Oregon or Indiana would have been, but it'll be nice.
Yep. All right, so Iowa's going on the road to USC on Saturday. We'll have a lot of coverage of that game alongside Joel Keller. Evan Dunn for the Hawkeye Headquarter Weekly podcast. Have a great day.